Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Ask-a-Techie, and that is the correct episode number this week. Last time I said we were episode 4 and we were episode 3, so apologies for the incorrect start on last month's. It's just down to the two of us this week. Unfortunately, other people due to be with us haven't been able to make it. There's been some issues this week which have waylaid people. So on my right we have Jonathan Knight from IT Services, and again I'm Tim Smale from the Faculty of Health. What we're going to try and do is reduce the time of these sessions down to about half an hour, 20 minutes, and we're going to try and do them every 2 weeks so that we get to answer your questions with a bit more frequency. As you can see, we're in our new home. This is the Audiovisual Services studio, and hopefully we'll be able to present from here in the future. So,
have we said no one's coming? One person sneaks in.
We now have Matt Street.
Looked like we had no friends at all, didn't it?
Yeah. So, Matt Street from the LPDC and SSDS is joining me on our left, and hopefully I can unmute your microphone. So we'll dive into the first question at the top of my list here, which was asked by a member of staff. Is there a way to reorder attachments on an email once attached? I guess what they're doing there is they want to be able to put the agenda at the top and attachments below it, and I guess they're having problems trying to reorder them. I think personally the best way of doing it is actually sharing a folder in Google Drive.
We're dodging the question here, are we?
Well, okay, so the answer to the question is really no. You can't reorder them. They go in the order that you select them. So I suppose the ultimate answer is if you need to reorder them, remove them all and add them back in the order that you want them. But I think one of the better ways that I've found for people is, especially if it's an internal meeting, is actually just to drop all of the items into a good folder structure and share that folder structure with the meeting members. It means that they can dip in and out of previous minutes and agendas if they need to, and it's kind of giving them that whole structure. But it's secure, it's nicely locked away, and it's not going to be something that anybody can just wander into. It's only the people that you share the folder structure with, and they only have view access if that's what you set, or you can give specific people edit access. So specific answer to the question is no, you can't reorder them once you've uploaded them. But maybe you can, think about using something like Google Drive to share the folder structure with. I suppose the alternative, although not quite as nice for people on tablets and mobiles, is zipping the files together, putting them into a zip folder.
Yeah,
it's not great, is it really?
No, it's not ideal.
No. Okay. So we'll move on to the next question, which was about Google Email, actually. Can you turn off the conversation view in the mobile app? Now, I've been playing with this. I'm on Android, and I've also had a play on iOS. I've not found a way of turning conversation view off.
It's no again.
Yeah. It's
this
one of those things.
Well, is it?
No.
We need to have some more yes answers. Please ask questions we can answer yes to.
It's one of those things. It's a feature that's built in. Personally, I think it is a great feature. What this particular person was really asking was they wanted to be able to delete a single message out of the conversation from the mobile app version, and you can't do that. You have to go back to the computer if you want to delete a single message from a conversation view. I guess it's a drawback from using them on the mobile version, but I think most of the time you're going to be answering emails and working with emails via the computer. Really, you're not going to be using the app for your main email management.
Some do, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think some people do. It is a drawback. I mean, obviously, the Google have a suggestion box, so there is no harm in going to Google's suggestion box and saying, "How about this for a new feature?"
Where can they find that?
By Googling for it.
You have a Google for it whilst I look at the next question. So the next question was again about Google Email. When composing a message and typing in the to box, it doesn't always find the kill person I want and only displays 5 potential people. It seems to have a preference for students rather than staff. Is there a way to search for staff first? Now, I think it has a preference to actually search for people you've emailed in the past before it searches the rest of the kill database.
It does. When you should end up with a little sort of faint line through the middle of that list of people it's suggesting, that, and above the sort of faint line is people you've emailed before, and below the faint line is its best guess out of the directory of people in the whole institution.
Yeah.
We always have that slight way that people do tend to email students not realising that faint line is important.
Let's see if I can just bring up.
We're doing a live demo.
Yeah. Let's just hide that message there. So when I go to send a message into here, let's put in your email address. You obviously come up because I email you a lot.
Quick. Is there? Can you see the line on that? I can't.
There's no line there. There we go. So I've searched there for Jonathan, and obviously I've got a few people at the top there. And then there's a line that says killed.ac.uk, this grey line here, and it's starting to list somebody there, Jonathan Hill, which is a student. Now, obviously, I've never emailed him, so that's separating out people that I've possibly emailed in the past, and then people who I haven't emailed below that grey line. Now, that isn't scrollable, so yes, that is a problem there. Sometimes I find it easier to search for people's surnames rather than their first name. If I'm looking for somebody, but of course you've also got the.
You wouldn't believe how many Tims there are in the university.
Yeah, you've also got the Kill directory. So if I go to Kill University homepage, and at the top there. All
right, you can do it from the app screen as well, I think.
Yeah, you got the staff directory.
Oh, I was thinking you could do the one in Google because there's a full directory of everyone in Google as well.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. If you go to the mail page and go on your apps bit of your Google Mail, that sort of thing that looks like a telephone keypad.
Yeah, so I'm in Chrome, so I've got that in here.
So you should find Contacts is one of the. It's sometimes called People. It's called People on Android. It's called Contacts when you're on on the sort of in the web.
This is obviously going to bring up my private contacts, but yes, it does have the Kiel one built in, doesn't it?
Yeah. So if you look at Directory, is the one which is all of Kiel, and then obviously it has your personal contacts and other things in there as well.
And the advantage of that, looking at it, is it also tells you if you've got a group set up with those individuals in, it will tell you if they're part of that group, which is quite useful.
For some reason mine's not going anywhere. Here we go.
It also seems to link to Google Plus and tell you if they're in which circle they're in.
So you've got the directory on the left-hand side. So in Contacts, on the left-hand side, you do have directory, and that will list out all Kiel University email addresses, and you can obviously then search that at the top there as well. So that will list out all of those messages.
And of course, all students' email addresses end in students Kiel UK. So it is possible to avoid them if you actually can see their email addresses. Is when of course the autocomplete doesn't show you that that you have the difficulty. But
so hopefully everyone else could see that. Google have made some updates in the last couple of weeks, haven't they?
They make every 2 weeks. Every time I try and demonstrate Google to someone, something's moved. I think I'm sure that was there last time, and it's now called something else.
If that wasn't in the recording, I will put that as a separate link underneath in a little video showing that. But there's now an audience response system. So those of you that are watching us live in the Google Plus page, or if you're on the YouTube, you'll have a little banner that pops up saying be part of the discussion, and it allows you to give us a thumbs up for bits you like and a thumbs down for bits you don't like.
I'm not sure this is a good idea.
No, I don't know where we see it.
Whose idea was that?
Well, Google's. I don't know where we see it, but we can see it after we've seen this. So hopefully we're getting lots of thumbs up at the moment.
We've got to wait with anticipation
then. So there is a question here from last time, and it was asked about they want to have a way of managing group projects and science blogs, project-related, science logbooks, which are project-related via the KLE or most efficient option. I've been giving it some thought, really, and I think there's no one way that's going to please everybody. So the ways that I came up with is, obviously PebblePad does allow the students to be quite creative in their Pebble Plus environment. They can share that if they created, say, a workbook or a web folio, and they can share that for other people to view only, or they can give collaborator access, say, to their member of staff, their mentor, and that would work quite nicely. The student would be able to do a lot of work in there. They'd be able to access a lot of stuff from their mobile phone and put that in as well. The member of staff, when setting this up, could structure it. They could put in pro formas, give them things to work on. The other one that the other two that I was thinking of is just a simple Google Drive. They could create a folder in Google Drive and share that. Everything that the student puts in there, if they shared the folder, everything the student puts in there, the member of staff would see, vice versa. Or you could even go as far, if it's more discussion-based and collaborative work with other students, you could go down the route of a Google Plus community, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking initially. A Google Drive, as Tim just described. Google Plus would also be useful, I think. And I was thinking about the groups function within Blackboard, because you could create up the separate groups and allow them access to certain tools like a blog tool, or the ability to share files or email each other as the group. So that would be one option that sits within Blackboard. It just depends what fits best with the context in which you're working and what you want to achieve with the students, I'd say, really, to figure out which routes you use.
A Blackboard group you can do. There is a Blackboard portfolio product, which can also then be a group assignment, so they can actually work together and then submit it as a group, rather than having to do individuals assessment that way.
Yeah, I mean, there are many, many different ways that this could be done. I think the considerations you need to give is, doesn't need to be taken into a laboratory setting.
That's a key point, isn't it? If you don't want to put your iPad next to a whole load of caustic chemicals, really. No,
but better an iPad that can be wiped versus a laptop that can't be. You can easily have students. One of the things that we do with some of our students when they have to attach evidence of what they're doing is they take a photo with their smartphone and upload it as evidence in PebblePad. Some of the times we're getting better images taken with the photo, using their smartphone to take an image of their document, than it is going and using one of the scanners. So we're saying to the students, you don't have to queue up at the library anymore and wait for the scanner. You just take a photo with your phone, as long as it's in good light, and when you zoom in on the image, you can read the smallest bits of text you need to read, and that's more than sufficient. But I think it's probably best to actually work with the students, find out what the students want to do, what they want to use. Because at the end of the day, if they don't want to use it, they're not going to be engaging with it as much as maybe you want them to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly plenty of tools for doing all that kind of stuff, aren't there? Yeah. Blackboard has a tool called Spaces, but that is quite limited at the moment, isn't it? It's really just for messaging and creating a small community. But again, that can work within that group.
Yeah.
Blackboard grouping kind of structure.
Yeah, and the other one's Google Classroom, but maybe I don't think that's ready for the age.
And of course, there's WebPA when you get to the end, isn't there? We've got more tools than really we need. I think it's more confusing. You want more tools.
Not more tools.
It's always easy when there's only one tool that does the job. There's a choice of one. It's quite easy to pick, isn't it? It's when you go and say, well, there's 5 ways of doing this. Which one do you fancy? Then you're stuck. I have that trouble in car parks.
You drive around looking at the spaces.
Well, you just think, well, that space is better than that one. So but it's much like this with tools. That one might be slightly better, but it's a comparison, isn't it? So I think we need to be more familiar with the actual what's actually going on to be able to make a better call on that.
So I suppose talking with your students, find out what you want to use with your students yourself, and obviously talk to your learning technologist in your individual area.
Or if you don't have one, contact the LPDC, and we'll be able to offer you support.
Brilliant. Audience response solutions. So we keep dipping in and out of this, and I had a lovely email from a member of staff who's been using Kahoot. So one of the ones that I've been recommending for quite a while is Socrative, or Socrative.
You don't know what that's called. Socrates or
Socrative,
Socrates, yeah.
I think it is supposed to be Socrative, but
Let's go with Socrative.
you know, reading some of these names with that pronunciation on them, you kind of. So Kahoot is spelled with a K.
Oh, that would explain why I got a credit card on my screen at the moment, would it?
Yeah. And this member of staff really quite liked what they were doing. So let me just share my screen with you all.
I think you flooded the Wi-Fi a bit here.
Have I overloaded the Wi-Fi? Hopefully.
Too many monitors around the place.
So hopefully this is visible. So this is Kahoot. If you can't see this, again, I will get it up and running afterwards. And I think a note for John for you to take back to IT services is just to come and check the Wi-Fi in this area.
I think wired connections would be better.
Yeah. So we'll sort out a wired connection for next time. But the way that Kahoot works is it allows you to create quizzes, discussions, and surveys. And this particular member of staff really liked the way that it was able to run leaderboards, and they were able to interact with the students and got them really into what was going on by the fact that they were competing to get to the top of the leaderboard. They did have a slight problem with a class of 70-odd students, all on the Wi-Fi. At one point, the Wi-Fi did seem to reset, and some of the students got a little angry that they missed a few points and weren't at the top of the list anymore. But it's certainly another one for people to look at using, is Kahoot and Socrative, and I think they possibly have niche areas depending on the sorts of questions you want to ask. I know Socrative is really good for asking on-the-fly response questions. You don't have to do any pre-setting up with it.
That's really good.
Yeah, you can just go straight in there and do that.
I think Socrative allows for that kind of that gaming as well, and the leaderboard, so you can see how many people have answered the question correctly, and you can compete against each other. I think that function, last time I looked, that functionality was there.
Yeah.
So it is a good tool. Both are really good tools.
So how do you cope with students who don't have a smart device in the room?
That is a concern, isn't it? You've got to make sure that either you offer an option.
Yeah. Well, that's obviously. Is it 85% of students have smart devices? Not necessarily with them, of course.
Not necessarily with them. No, I think it's about about organisation and warning the students. This is what's going to happen. Have you all got access to the device? If not, then that's got to inform your decision as.
Yeah. I mean,
as a tutor.
Some of the schools I work with have a stock of iPads, tablets, things like that can be used. Laptops could be used in place of smart devices. But the other one is, this isn't typically, not as far as I'm aware, being used for any formal marking. It's just sort of, on the fly audience response. Is everyone listening? So typically, you can just say, look, if you don't have a smart device, that's fine. You work with the person next to you. Make sure you're sat next to somebody that does have one, and you can work in a pair.
The alternative, of course, is to use the clickers that you can get from the AVS that are also
Turning point
clickers, yes, thanks. Yeah. That you can book out from audiovisual services. They don't have the flexibility in the sense that you can access from a device and you can see pictures on them. They're literally a block of plastic with voting numbers on, similar to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but would achieve the same outcome. That kind of in-class engagement in large groups can be replicated with that, just minus the gate. Well, you can actually build a leaderboard into it as well, actually.
Yeah, you can do.
So that functionality could be mirrored without the kind of worry about accessibility.
But you have to use that obviously with PowerPoint.
Yes.
There is Is there anywhere feature or something
There is,
like this?
yes, turning point anywhere.
But I don't think it has the leaderboards built in or anything like that.
No, that's more of it on the fly questions that you
Yeah.
can type in and students respond to.
Okay.
Chromebooks are an option as well. Just throw those in. I mean, they're nice little sort of solid state devices. So if you want something you can be given out, brought back in again, and you don't have to mess with it, then a Chromebook is quite a simple little tool for that kind of use.
I don't think that my share screens are particularly working at the moment, so I'm just going to describe the next one. Google Drive has updated recently, so some people are seeing a new drive, some people are still seeing the old drive.
Is that on for everyone? I thought that was still off, and it was only on if you asked for it.
Well, I'm not sure. Some people have gone into the settings, the little cog in the top right-hand corner, and clicked on to try the new drive. And some people are now starting to see that when they go to the share option, it does look different.
Okay.
It asks for the list of names of people, but there is a button that says Advanced Options. Clicking that takes you back to how it used to look. So it gives you that ability to make the link available to everybody at Kiel or publicly. So you can just click that Advanced Options, and it gives you back the same functionality that you had previously.
Easily missed as well. I didn't notice that.
Yeah. And it does look very confusingly different the second that it comes up, and until you get your head around the fact it is the same, it's just simplified. It can put you right off.
I think we also get a Google video out. I mean, there's bound to be a Google help for changing drive.
Yeah.
Or a learn more button somewhere.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
also get the link out to people if it's going to look too different for.
Yeah.
Are you finding people are having trouble with it, or is it just?
I think it's just a precautionary heads up, because some people will have a difficulty with it, and it's always good just to bring it to people's attention.
Yeah, there was a learn more button in there. Perhaps we ought to get that link somewhere. Perhaps we'll stick that link on the.
Yeah, we can stick it in the notes feed after.
Yeah, just so people can actually
show.
see what's going to change. Yeah, because they do go through it with quite boring detail, exciting detail. Yeah, but what's different? So yeah, maybe, and there's a video as well. Yeah, maybe we'll get the link out so that people can have a look and see what's going to change.
The last question, I will scarily. I will attempt to share my screen again. Hopefully this isn't going to go too poorly.
You got a live video on yours, Matt? No.
No, I've turned it off.
So, the last one is in the calendar option. When you search for an item and click to have those returned.
Yes.
If it's going to do it. There we go. So I've got 200 results there. And if I go up to the print button up here, or right click and print, or go to the file print option.
Okay.
In this view here, it's truncated. It's only showing what was on screen.
Oh yeah, that's a bug.
Now,
isn't it?
I've personally gone into the code and looked at it, and it looks like the CSS rules, which is the styling of the page, how the page looks and functions. It looks as though Google are expecting to give you everything so that you can print it, but it doesn't seem to be working. So it might be something that we report back to Google, but
we've got a sort of we have a privileged support route.
Yeah.
Where we can nip in there and say, this is broken, can you have a look at it? So yeah, I'll certainly stick that into Google and
now,
get that sorted out.
Unfortunately, you can't even highlight, because I've got a built-in tool that says print what I've selected to get round that sort of issue on some pages, but on this list you literally just can't select anything. So
right, we'll get that reported.
It does seem like a bug in the system that we certainly will look at getting sorted. So unless anyone else is posting questions live as we speak, I can't see any coming in. I know we've got a few viewers online.
Thanks, Mum.
Yes, I did show one of these to my wife the other day, and she referred to. Do you watch Big Bang Theory?
Yes. Yeah.
She referred to this as fun with flags. So she's been blocked. She's not allowed to watch it. But the other thing I was just going to really talk about very briefly, for those of you that are down on the hospital site, was just a quick recap of what really happened this week, where the network access down on the hospital site was completely stripped out. It turned out that the cable that Keele uses to run a connection between the hospital site and the main campus was damaged. It's not sure by who or how the cable was damaged at this moment, but it was damaged, and it took a while for the service provider who owns the cable that we rent from them to come into site to find the breakages and to repair those. And unfortunately, we don't have any backup connection to the hospital site at the moment. We used to have a microwave transmitter, didn't we?
Yes, unfortunately, they are pulling down the building that it was attached to.
So
that's in progress. That's going to be replaced. That's
yes.
An action that's going on. But obviously, with the building work at the hospital,
they
have unfortunately knocked down the buildings or switching off power in the buildings where we used to actually be able to see directly from Keele. So it's going to have to be a new idea to actually get that link re-established. But it's in progress.
Yeah. So it's most people managed to work around it successfully. I know a lot of people came up onto campus. We had a lot of mobile connected devices as well, using SIM cards. So I think it was a good testament to how we can work around these things.
It's worth knowing the Newcastle libraries are all EduRoam as well.
Yeah, you can go to any of the libraries.
So if you are just stuck somewhere, you can just dip into a library and you should have a full EduRoam service there.
I suppose worst case is there's McDonald's on the 34th. It's got free Wi-Fi.
Okay, but
it's not connected.
It's actually our EduRoam that's in the Newcastle libraries.
Is it just Newcastle libraries or all Staffordshire libraries now?
All Staffordshire libraries, actually. Yeah, it should be all Staffordshire ones.
Okay.
So I haven't tested it. I don't think we tested it. It must be on Newcastle. But yeah.
So everyone that's watching this, please go to your local library. It's always good to support your
back
local
what
library.
You can find. Yeah.
Try and connect to EduRoam and let us know your experiences. We'd love to hear those. And the last one was, obviously there was a glitch in the KLE yesterday afternoon. Lost all of our modules.
Yeah, he just decided to unenroll everyone and then happily decided to enroll everyone again.
Everything's back and working as it should be, isn't it now?
Yeah. He just had one where he just decided no one. Well, no, he wasn't. It was some people were unenrolled from some modules. I think all the modules beginning with K were fine. All the modules beginning with S weren't.
Right.
I don't know where the middle ground was on that. But the second time around, he just said put everyone back on again without without questioning it.
Mm. So we should all be fine. If anyone has got any modules that are still missing or any other issues,
feel free to contact the service desk. Yeah.
So the IT service desk, which is staying where it is, but you're moving, aren't you?
We're moving as of first week in November, so it's not many. Week on Tuesday, I think I'm actually on the move.
Yeah.
So the student-based services are still in the library building. So student queries should still go there. Staff queries should really have to be done by phone now because the desk that's dealing with those is now in a building you can't get into.
Oh, I thought we could come and visit you.
Well, you can. Well, okay, if you'd like to, yes, but then you have to go through at least 3 sets of security doors before you actually arrive at anyone's desk. Right. So it's more of a trek than it used to be.
Okay, so we have to. I mean, the best way of submitting a support request really is through Top Desk anyway.
It is. There's going to be a team of there's like 5 sort of positions which are sort of in that building which are going to be on the phone and on the web. So obviously they'll be staffed. Dedicated really to picking up staff queries, which isn't so the case at the moment. So hopefully the staff will find that things have actually improved for them.
So we've all had an email to let us know when there may be a service disruption, a response time reduction or increase whilst you're moving up the hill, which is the 4th and 5th of November?
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday. I think that's the 4th and the 5th.
I think the idea is that enough people are left in the existing building to cover whatever's going on whilst other people are moving, and then once they're over, we'll come back and get the other people. So it might all be done on Tuesday if we get if everything goes according to plan. Tuesday should be it, and we'll all be running on Wednesday.
It's Tuesday the 4th and Wednesday the 5th.
Right, good.
Yeah. But no servers or anything are moving, so
no. It's
things
just
should
us.
run as normal. It's just getting hold of a few members of the team.
Every confidence in our networking team to provide an outstanding service, and we will unplug our phones and PCs carry them over the other end, plug them back in again, switch them on, and they will all work. Brilliant. I've been assured this will be the case.
Okay, we look forward to it. So we have had no other live questions coming in, so I am going to bring this episode to a close.
Any thumbs up or thumbs down?
Not that I can see. I don't know where they are. We will look for these new audience instant response
So that could be a audience. You're asking for response things. There's a thumb. Put it on Hangouts on Air and do a thumbs up, thumbs down while it's running.
Well, as always, please like us on YouTube. Click the thumbs up on YouTube. It shows that we're doing
shows
what
you're out there.
Yes, it shows you're out there. I mean, typically we're getting over 100 views on each of these videos, which is really good response. So thank you for that. Please keep your questions coming in. You can either submit them to the Google Plus event that we create and send out in advance, or you can send them to myself, t.smale@kiel.ac.uk, or to Matt West, which is m.l.west@kiel.ac.uk from the LPDC, and we're collating the questions between us. So thanks all for watching, and we'll hopefully see you in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you.